Hello and welcome to the Environment This Week series section of Drishti IAS. I'm Aisha, and in today's episode we will be covering topics which are important from General Studies paper 3, that is environment and ecology. So basically the concept that we have followed is we have taken topics from the current affairs and then we will be delving deeper into the static portion of it. And in the end we will be solving few of the practice questions related to the topics that we have discussed. So let us talk about the topics that we have taken in today's episode. So the top news of the week includes wetland conservation, then National Board for Wildlife, Project Lion, and the PM Wildlife Conservation Initiative. So these are the four topics that we will be discussing. So the first topic that we will be talking or discussing is the wetland conservation. So wetland conservation was in news because recently Shimla has initiated demarcation of 9 lakes for wetland conservation, and that is how the topic of wetland conservation came to the news. So first of all, let us talk about what is a wetland, because it becomes important because many questions have already been asked in the examination with regards to the wetlands. So wetland in Hindi is known as Adra Bhumi, and basically what happens is a area which you will see is filled with water. So you can say water is a prerequisite with regards to the wetland. So an area which is filled with water, but it supports it supports water also, it supports the surrounding areas also, and it supports animals also. So the dependency on the wetland is very, very high. So it can be, the water in the wetland can be flowing or static. Wetland can be natural or man-made. It can be throughout the year. It can be for a season. So, and basically the depth of the wetland is not more than 6 meters. And the dependency of the wetland, it can be fresh water, brackish water, salt water also. So that is what is a wetland. In India, if we talk about, then in India, as of now, there are 89 wetlands in India. Then when we talk about wetlands, one of the most important part that we talk about is the Ramsar Convention. So Ramsar Convention was signed in the Ramsar city of Iran, and it basically talks about the conservation of the wetlands. So wetland conservation, if we talk about, then first and foremost is the global challenges and importance. So wetlands cover around 6% of the earth's surface and provide 40.6% of the global ecological services. This ecological services is with regards to many things, that is it supports birds, reptiles, mammals, then it supports the surrounding communities also. The economic benefits is also there from the wetlands. Then it also provides livelihood opportunities for the people who are living nearby it. Then decline in wetlands. So between 1970 to 2015, around 35% of the wetlands were lost and 50% have disappeared since 1900. So the intensity of wetlands and the area covered by the wetlands is decreasing with time, and the wetlands are losing space with time. Then threats to wetlands. So wetlands has many threats, and few of them being urbanization, industrialization, population growth, and climate change. Now urbanization, because when urbanization takes place, development is taking place, growth is taking place, urbanization needs more and more area. So it needs concretization also. And with it, what happens is, when urbanization will start or is expanding, it needs more and more land area. And how that land area is gonna come? So that will be in the form of the surrounding land which is present. So when the surrounding land is taken under the concretization or urbanization or in the name of development, what that will do is it will impact negatively the area or the land area which is present around it. Then loss of species. So around 81% of inland wetland species and 36% of coastal species have declined since 1970. Now efforts for wetland conservation. So first and foremost is the Ramsar Convention. So a global effort for wetland conservation, and India has 89 Ramsar sites, including, so the recently added Ramsar sites were Udwa Lake in Jharkhand. So this was the first Ramsar site of Jharkhand. Then come Sakkarkotai Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the state which has the highest number of wetlands in India. So it has around 19 to 20 wetland sites in India. Then the Kichiroparli wetland in Sikkim. So this is also the first wetland site of Sikkim. Then if we talk about COP14 on Ramsar Convention, so it emphasized integrating wetland conservation with sustainable development goals, climate change mitigation and biodiversity targets. Now, wetland also becomes important with regard to the movement of the migratory birds, because a lot of migratory birds fly from their area of origin and then come and settle at the wetlands, and then when the season gets over or for whatever period they have come to settle there, then they move from one place to another place. Now, wetland degradation and management in India. So, wetland loss in India. So, India has lost around 30% of its natural wetlands in the last 4 decades, and the reason being urbanization and infrastructure development, because both needs land. Then management challenges, need for comprehensive strategies beyond ecological aspect. So, even though the urbanization, development, growth, concretization, everything requires land, but what needs to be kept in mind and what also needs to be seen, that how the development is taking place, because the development that is taking place needs to be sustainable in nature, because what this generation is going to pass on to the next generation is what matters. And if the wetlands will deplete, that will cause a problem in the overall ecological functioning of the ecosystem, because the ecosystem in its functioning follows a particular food chain or the food web. But if the presence of wetland will not be there, then the overall ecosystem functioning will be disrupted. Then mainstreaming wetland conservation. Wetland management should be integrated into development plans, addressing physical, social and economic factors and linked to climate change mitigation. Now, the second topic is the National Board for Wildlife. And this was in news because the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has chaired the 7th meeting of the National Board for Wildlife on 3rd of March. And the location was the Gir National Park in Gujarat. And that is how the National Wildlife Board came to the news. So, the National Wildlife Board was established in the year 2003 under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And this replaced the Indian Board for Wildlife, which was established in the year 1972. So, it is a statutory body formed by the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, replaced the Indian Board for Wildlife 1952. Important point for you to remember from the exam respect. Then it is the apex body on wildlife conservation and development. So, whenever the talk is about the conservation of the wildlife, then the National Board of Wildlife plays an important role. Then the chairperson is the Prime Minister of India. Star mark, this point can be asked in the examination directly. Vice Chairman is the Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it is a multi-member body. So, the members consist of around 3 parliament members, 2 from Lok Sabha, 1 from Rajya Sabha. There are 5 representatives from NGOs and 10 eminent ecologists, conservationists and environmentalists. Now, if we talk about the permanent committee of the National Board for Wildlife, so there are, one is permanent committee and then there is function. So, let us first talk about the permanent committee of the National Board for Wildlife. So, the chairman of the NBWL is the Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Be clear in this, do not get confused that the chairman of the NBWL is the Prime Minister of India, but the chairman of the permanent committee of National Board for Wildlife is the Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Then if we talk about the members, then it has up to 10 members, which is nominated by the Vice President. And what is the role of the permanent body? So it approves all projects within 10 kilometers of protected wildlife areas. Now, this criteria of 10 kilometers is important. You need to remember this, because all the area does not come under the permanent committee. It is within 10 kilometers of protected wildlife. Then what are the functions of the National Board for Wildlife? So, that is, it advises central and state governments on wildlife conservation policies. So, the state government and the central government, the decisions that they take with regard to what is good for the wildlife, what is bad for the wildlife, what decisions needs to be taken. So this decision is taken by the National Board for Wildlife. Then it prevents illegal wildlife trade and poaching. Now illegal trade in itself is a very big problem with regard to the wildlife of India and also for the forest officials in India, and the National Board for Wildlife looks after that also. Then it recommends the establishment of national parks, sanctuaries and protected areas, one of the most important function. Then it reviews all wildlife related projects and policies. So these are few of the functions of the National Board for Wildlife. Now coming to the next topic, and that is the Project Lion. And why Project Lion was in news? Because recently the government has approved rupees 2,900 crore Project Lion, and also the census of lion was also approved. So recently it was reviewed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 3rd of March 2025 on the World Wildlife Day in the Gir Wildlife Sanctuary. So the budget for the Project Lion was 2,927 crore rupees, and the objective was, or the aim or the objective was, to protect and expand the Asiatic lion population in Gir, Gujarat, because Gir, Gujarat is the only natural habitat of these lions. So only natural habitat of the Asiatic lion is present in Gujarat, and that is Gir National Park, and this was where the meeting of the National Board of Wildlife took place. And under this meeting only the lion census was approved. Then the objective was also to improve habitat and enhance monitoring and reduce human wildlife conflict, because with regard to lion, as of now the human wildlife conflict is not very much, but if we talk about the leopards or the tigers, so the human animal conflict has been very high with regard to the leopards and the tigers. Now conservation and infrastructure measures. So first of all, let us talk about the veterinary hospital. So Advanced Animal Hospital in Sasan Gir, functioning as the National Wildlife Disease Diagnosis Center. Then focus on monitoring and preventing diseases like the canine distemper virus and also the Babesia, because the canine distemper virus was very much in news because this led to the death of many lions. Then second point is the monitoring and protection. So it talks about the use of drones, CCTV cameras, rapid response units, new tracker positions for lion protection. Because basically what happens is, because the area in which the lions or any kind of the big cat species moves, so that is a huge area. So to see or to keep a surveillance over how the movement of the big cat is taking place, the use of cameras, drones, rapid response units, so all these different aspects is required in it. Then habitat management. Funding allocated for habitat improvement, prey population increase and human wildlife conflict reduction. So this is also important, because the management of the habitat, that the place where the lions are being held or the place where the big cats are living, how is that place or how is that habitat actually working, or is management is going on. Then the human lion coexistence. Encouraging voluntary resettlement of human settlements and providing around 11,000 elevated platforms for farmers to avoid lion encounters. And one of the communities which was very much appreciated was the Maldhari community, because the Maldhari community in the Gir, it lives in coexistence with the lions, and they are the cattle rearing community of that region, and they are living in coexistence with the lion, and that is why this community is very much appreciated for the work they have done. Then PM Modi's meeting on wildlife conservation, and in the National Board for Wildlife, the PM Modi also talked about the conservation of other species also, that is he discussed other projects also like Project Tiger, Cheetah, Project Elephant, Project Dolphin, along with the Project Lion. And Project Dolphin, if we talk about, then recently the first ever survey of the Gangetic dolphin has also taken place, and more than 6,000 Gangetic dolphin has been found, and it was with regard to the river Ganga, river Yamuna, river Brahmaputra and the other tributaries of Ganga also. Now coming to the next topic, and that is the PM Wildlife Conservation Initiative. With regard to the meeting in the National Board for Wildlife, Prime Minister Narendra Modi did not only talk about the Project Lion, he also talked about or discussed about the conservation of other projects also, like we just discussed, that is Project Cheetah, Project Tiger, Project Elephant, Project Dolphin, Project Lion. So few of the key announcements was with regard to the expansion of the Project Cheetah and the new habitats in the Gandhi Sagar Sanctuary, Madhya Pradesh, and the Banni grasslands in Gujarat. Then if we talk about the lion population estimation, so the Asiatic lion census to begin in May 2025 under the Project Lion. Then Ghadial conservation projects, so the new efforts launched to project declining Ghadial populations also. Then Great Indian Bustard Conservation National Plan announced for the protection of the endangered species. Key points from the National Board for Wildlife meeting. First is the human wildlife conflict management. So establishing a center of excellence at Coimbatore Wildlife Institute, and the next is that the training rapid response teams using technology for tracking and monitoring conflict prone areas. Next is the use of technology in conservation, how the different use or the different techniques of technology can be used with regard to the conservation. So remote sensing, geo mapping, artificial intelligence, machine learning for wildfire and human animal conflict management. So all these techniques can also be used with regard to the conservation. Now community involvement, so encouraging local communities in conservation efforts, as I just told you about the Maldhari community's role with regard to the conservation of lion. So these were the 4 topics that we discussed, and now coming on to the practice questions related to these 4 topics. And like always, you people will give me the answer in the comment section. And how are you going to do this? So type or write 1, 2, 3 and 4 and write the answer in front of it. So let's begin with the first practice question. What is the primary objective of the Ramsar Convention? Combat climate change, promote urbanization, conserve wetlands, or protect plant and animal species. Second question. Who is the chairperson of the National Board for Wildlife? Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Secretary of Wildlife Department, Chief Forest Conservator, or the Prime Minister of India? Now coming on to the next question, that is the third question. So under Project Lion, which advanced technology is used for monitoring Asiatic lions? So that is radar surveillance, helicopter surveillance, radio collar and camera monitoring, or the drone surveillance. Now coming on to the last question, and that is, in which wildlife sanctuary did PM Modi hold the first National Board Wildlife meeting? Bandipur Sanctuary, Gir National Park, Kaziranga National Park, or the Sundarban Sanctuary? So we have discussed all the 4 questions. So give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time. Keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.